Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's Lair. I am your host, Larry the Chupacabra, and today we're back for another game review, jumping back into that massive pool that is the realm of mobile gaming. And today we'll be taking a look at a cross-platform title that just came out, available for both iOS and Android, called Stormfall, Rise of Balur, which is the successor to, as I'm sure you probably guessed it, Stormfall. And Stormfall, we were fighting off some ancient evil, the kingdom fell, and now we are here amongst the vestiges of an ancient kingdom that did the stuff with fighting demons and orcs and trolls and massive spiders and Bob, the fire-spewing dragon who's less than kind, but he makes one heck of a breakfast scone. And we got to manage our resources and use, I'm going to say, my cunning strategy to fend off the evil and the Dark Lord Balur. He's like this evil lich man. And, keep our people together and try to reclaim the lost kingdom of Stormfall. So, to that effect, this is a game all about managing this big old castle full of resources. So, like, down over here, we've got these little peasant cottages that provide us with my gold income. The people come to my lovely castle. They're like, Larry, we heard you've got one spiffy-looking castle, well-defended. There's pikemen. There's that giant golem thing here called George that watches the front gates. He's an automaton who'll cleave you in two. Do you offer any houses for rent? And wouldn't you know it, I do. So they provide me with my gold, and I'm actually upgrading one of them so it can hold more people and provide me with additional gold per hour income. And then on the other side of our map, we've got mines. These mines near this dwarven outpost from the rocks here. They provide us with all of the metal we need to fend off evil. And then down here, we have all of our piggy farms. Larry does like himself some bacon, and they provide my kingdom with all the food that I need. And for the most part, you always want something in your castle to be under construction, under research, and under training and stuff. And in this case, if we jump down here to this little timer, currently I am training up some archers, and I've got some other people here in transit on the way that are going to be my daily reinforcements from Lord Oberon. He's our big, scary boss man. He's, I guess, max level 124, and he's in charge of keeping the realm together and making sure we don't murder each other needlessly and pointlessly. So, I've got units being trained right now. I'm currently training some archers, and I'm also training some pikemen that are in my queue right now. So, my archers will finish in the next 6 minutes or so. And then they'll train me some more pikemen, that I have a nice mix and match. And then, one thing that I haven't done, I just logged in this morning, is researching different upgrades so that, like, for example, under battle formations, that lets me send out more raiding parties to touch people. I can get better weaponry, better bows, better war stratagems. Actually, we'll just upgrade that. The war strategy, upgrading the lost art of war to be able to send more units out to do stuff. Definitely a plus, and that'll take us about an hour, 2 hours worth of time to upgrade. And as I'm sure you can guess, this is a kind of come-and-go game. You set some timers, you send out some people to raid, and then you come back once they're done and you set some more stuff to go. So it's a very relaxed type of strategy game. Well, Larry, we've got all these upgrades going, we got buildings happening. What can you do in this game? Because upgrading buildings, upgrading demonic rituals here in the Obelisk of Power to use my skull runes to upgrade people. That's all well and good, but I want to get into the meat of it. I want to do stuff. I want to attack people. Well, you're in luck. You hit the map here, and everything loads up. Here's my lovely castle, the Larry Chupa Castle. A great place. We got a nice vista view off these mountains here. I can either hunt around here looking for different nasty enemies that need to be squished or murdered, or I can send a raiding party to attack some of my neighbors, because they've been getting a little too chummy. I want to remind them that when they borrow my lawnmower, they damn well better return it. So to that effect, whatever, let's attack XX Shadow XX. So we'll click on his portrait, and then we can send him a message. We can check out his profile. Maybe we want to add him as a contact. What I'm interested in attacking, so we'll hit raid. And what do I want to send to attack? Well, got a lot of different units that I was given, and I gained as the spoils of war, like some dragons. I think I'll send a dragon or two. I'll send 2 dragons his way. And won't send any griffins or anything, because things like griffins, if you see that little shield, those are defensive units. They're not really good at running across battlefields and maiming people and trying to take over anything. They're more like, I'm just gonna lounge in a recliner over here for a while. You guys do the thing. So we'll get to those in a bit, but those aren't for attacking. Those are for just strategic defense. We'll send off a couple of warlocks, a couple of necromancers. I've got a lot of Lord Saurons here, the Great Lords. I did like that. That was a nice throwback to, like, Death Knights and Lord Sauron. We'll send off some knights. That's always good. And then we'll send a whole bunch of these meteor units, like pikemen. Pikemen I can easily replace. They're cheap. I mean, I know they have feelings, but they're not expensive to train. They're like the greeters at Walmart. I mean, they get in there, you say hi, you don't swear at people, stab people with your pike. That's all you gotta do. It's like a weekend seminar. Then we'll hit send. And then on the map, they will slowly walk over to Mr. Shadow X's castle, knock on the door, maybe shiv the doorman a couple of times, ask for all of the loot in the register, and come home. And that's primarily the way in this game that you go and attack people, and you go on strategic offensives and stuff. And normally, if the other folks around me hadn't been quite so active, there'd be little places that you could attack, like this place right here, the Tower of Mages. And this is an NPC-type village, and I can help to defend this place from the Dark Lord Balur. And I think I'll do that. We'll hit the reinforce button, and we'll send them some of our pals to give them a hand. So I'll send this big, meaty griffin. He likes to eat demons and stuff. It's part of his new demonic paleo diet. We'll send a golem. Actually, no, I'll keep the golem. We might want to send the golem somewhere else. Then I'll send him some of my nomads and my barbarians and stuff. And one of the things that I've been really enjoying about this game, as I'm sending these different units, is I didn't build almost any of these units. I have won and murdered a bunch of different places, and I have, won in combat the loyalty of, crazy marauders and stuff, and they have joined my forces. So it takes you several days of, off and on playing in order to get a lot of these upgrades. But if you win them in battle, you can start to amass an army rather quickly, and it gives you more to do here and now. And that was something I had trouble with in, games like Clash of Clans. You very quickly hit this wall where you gotta stop and wait. And while you do quite a bit of waiting in here, they do try to offer you some stuff that you can do right now to keep you entertained without having to spend extra money. Now, what else can you do, Larry? I mean, you can go on raids. Is there missions? I mean, it's kind of like an MMORPG. Well, good news. They do have quests for us. We have some main quests here, brought to us by Lord Oberon's second-in-command. And she tells us to do things like, it might be helpful if you built a Garrett the Cloak statue. So what is this going to want to cost me? Let's see. So we'll go over here to one of these pedestals, and I want to construct a Garrett the Cloak. And, okay, so this will build pretty quickly. A lot of these buildings, they increase your passive stats that your various minions can be more powerful. Let's look at Garrett the Cloak and see what he does. Alright, so this is just a statue. It's an honorable hero from legend and history, and he increases our overall city's defense by 100. That's pretty good. And then by doing quests, by building the things that they recommend, you start to get different resources and different units that you wouldn't otherwise be able to build immediately. For example, I don't have the ability to build paladins, but this first quest here has rewarded me with 5 gallant knights, or paladin knights that do the holy magic kajizzle. And, as you do stuff, as you gain more resources, gain more buildings, train more units, they start to give you some extra stuff to help you out. So it tries to reward you more than just saying, like, okay, you ran out of resources, please buy more gems to get more. It tries to reward you for being patient and just playing the game every day, and that's something that has always turned me off about a lot of these games. Is, it's very quick, most of them, until you hit a paywall. We'll just gather up our coins, much like in Clash of Clans. Half of our resources get kept inside of the building. So we want to make sure that we are continuously grabbing up all of our metal and gold and stuff so that in case we need to build something, we have all of the resources we can get. And I'm going to want to build something else. So we're researching the lost art of warfare. And let's get down to business and upgrade some of these buildings. I'll upgrade my barn so I can hold more food. That's probably a good one. Now, Larry, you were saying that there was these quests. So those were our main quests that this lady Sif gives us to do. Like right now, she wants us to finish upgrading our towns because we're starting to, get to the maximum cap on my resources a lot, and I'm having to spend an excessive amount of money to stop from being resource capped. But we can also go here. There's this little scroll under her head with this hour marker, and these are daily quests that reset every day, and we can just pick one of these, and I'll just click on this Save a Shade Prince from the Burning Building. We'll just send off some units by clicking Start, and they will go off into the ether of the map and help that Burning Prince, that Shade Prince. He does kind of sound evil, doesn't he, from getting burned alive. And as you see, we attacked the Shadow Lord's keep over here, and it's currently on fire. This indicates that a castle has recently been pillaged. There's probably not a lot of goodies for you to get. So anyway, so you've got different missions and quests and stuff you can go on. You've got your personal quests here that you can just go on in order. You can just knock these out in the course of a day. You stop, have a coffee break at work, load up your iPad, start another raid mission. And then you've got some that benefit your group. They encourage you to be a part of a league or a guild. And participating or sending your resources or using your resources and units to do different missions for the league helps get you some reputation, some perks, and bonuses that help buff both you and your comrades in the game. Again, trying to reward you for doing the things by giving you buffs, giving your allies buffs to try and not only encourage you to play, but to play with other people. And then, of course, you've got these Paragon Missions, and Paragon Missions boost your personal, kingliness. And that's up here, that's this little floating crown thing. Paragon points are the big thing that are trying to encourage you to play every day and not just buy stuff. Paragon points can be purchased still, but Paragon points, as you play, a little every day, these Paragon points are what are going to get you to, better perks, better stats, and to reward you for logging in by making all of your stuff just overall better. So let's see what I'm rewarded with at Paragon level 3. We'll just click on the Paragon bonuses. Level 3, my current level, I get extra attempts at raiding different buildings. If I go up and attack a big nasty group of monsters and I screw it up and I lose a bunch of monsters, I get some extra attempts to attack them and try to get whatever goodies that they've got. I can have extra units. I get a boost from all of my resource production. All of the units go places faster. I get extra quests and stuff to do. They try to say, okay, you've been doing the things, here's some more stuff to do. and it would be rather expensive for you to actually try and purchase extra Paragon points to try and make it so that it's not quite as pay to win. So, going through here, the last little sort of daily thing that you can do is you can go on these big missions that are available every so many days. Like, this one is called the Quest of the Forsaken. So, out in the world, there's a bunch of lords and ladies, and they really want us to vie for supremacy in this game. So, to encourage us to do that, the more castles we attack, the more of their units that we murder and sweetly in the night, the more of these quest points we accrue in order to win items that would otherwise require physical, real-world money. Like these little sort of medallions. Those are our Paragon points. We get extra Paragon points if we participate in these big questing events. We also get some of these sapphires, or these rubies, I should say, which is the kind of secondary sort of in-game currency that you can also purchase with real-world money. And then you get some various other rewards of units. Try and, again, offer you some premium-grade stuff for free as long as you participate and do the things. And that's a lot of what we have to do. That is the crux of this game. It's like a lot of other free-to-play games, some freemium games. They give you a bunch of different questy sort of things to do. And then you send out your units, you try to intelligently utilize your units so you don't lose too many, but you don't send out too many in case you get attacked. And that's pretty much the strategy behind it. So, here in our little observatory, I know this looks like we're analyzing the stars in order to gain their wisdom to make magic. But nope, this is a spying tower. We get to look at other lords and ladies, and their nearby lands. I'm not looking through their window. Don't look at me like that. Don't you? Okay, maybe I did a little bit. It's a giant telescope, so sue me. But no, we get to look across the landscape, and this telescope helps us find NPC villages and other settlements in order to help defend them, help attack them, and gain some of their goodies, either as reward or as the spoils of war. So down here, Level 6 Ogre Cave is available for me to attack. Well, I'll just click on this, and I'll send a dragon over. Send some warlocks. And one of the tricks here is, the bigger the fighting force that you send out after people, the less of your units that are going to end up dead. And, that's a good thing. You know, units are expensive, and I can't even train most of these units yet. All of these units, for the most part, I have won in battle. The only stuff I can currently train are up here. We've got these silent ones. These are my legion of spies that I can send off to find out what sort of, minions other lords and ladies have, what sorts of incomes they have for me to steal, stuff like that. But I can only train the silent ones, the pikemen, and all the way down here, the archers. That's all I'm currently able to train. So it's very important for me to juggle my resources to keep getting more minions that see me murder things and are like, cool, let's go join that Larry guy, until I can craft them, or train them, as the case may be. So it's a good idea to only send a few of your big, strong, gnarly units, and use a lot of your piddly pikemen, because they're cheap to make. And that's a lot of what you can do, and all of these different encampments, these missions, give you different rewards. And like this one gave me a bunch of some experience, some money, and some food. And I can just sort of send my people, my minions, off into the distance to do various stuff. And I'll just start helping another one of my allies, their lord or lady, got their daughter stolen. I'm not the biggest fan of that, so I'm going to help them out. So there's a lot of stuff in here, and it is very MMO-y. I mean, we zoom out here on the map, and we can see there's a whole bunch of people nearby that we can do stuff to or with. We've got different people a part of different guilds, or leagues, as they're called in here, like this guy, Skitties. He's a part of SVB. No idea what it is, but it's got a little gem cross as its icon. it's been a while since I've raided Skiddies. So I'm going to send a bunch of dragons and stuff to attack him, just to remind him that I'm here, that I'm a part of a different faction, and I just assumed that he didn't get any fancy ideas about attacking me. So, eventually, as you play through this game, this little shield of mine, you'll see in the lower right hand, I've got this little shield that says I've got 2 days and 10 minutes left. That's the starter shield that you get anytime you start your profile over or you start for the first time. And that prevents me from losing resources when people attack me. That includes, like, my money, my iron, my food, or, my units, because I've also got some defensive units up here. I've got this catapult here that hurls boulders at people, and then I've got these immortals. And if someone attacks me without that shield, I would have to replace these guys, and those guys cost real-world money, so I don't really want that to happen. And then they could murder some of my other units that I don't have squirreled away for safety. And by that I mean, you'll notice down here, I've got this weird cave entrance. And what that is those are the catacombs underneath of my city. It's spooky scary under there. Enemies just say screw it. If there's people down there, let them be. There's like skeletons and stuff. Dude, come on. Really? Catacombs? You really want to go down there? Come on. And if I want to make sure that my important units stay alive when I'm logged out or anything, I'll send them into the catacombs and I'll recall them later. So there's an interesting give and pull and tug and swish and flick and all of this stuff. And for the world of freemium games, I feel this is pretty good. I didn't find myself wanting for stuff to do. One of my issues in games like Clash of Clans again was I almost immediately found myself running out of resources, hitting resource caps, hitting extraneous timers that they'd want an excessive amount of money to skip. And while this game still wants you to pay them the monies for skipping and getting extra resources or getting extra this and that, the timers are not excessive, although I find the ramp up in these blue gems, which are your currency, to be a little bit excessive. It quickly goes from like 5 gems and 20 gems and 10 gems to like 400 gems. And I don't know, I don't like that as much. But I'm completely fine with logging in, setting some stuff to attack, setting some stuff to upgrade and to build. Like my farmhouse is finished, so I'll set another one to upgrade. And then going off and doing something else. It's a very come-and-go game. And if you're someone casual who just needs like a game for your commute downtown, if you like ride a bus or a train, or maybe you want something to kill time on your lunch break or on the John, this would be the perfect kind of game for you. The things that I find a drawback to it are I'm a little bit more of a fan of games that allow me to control my units and see a battle as it progresses. That gives me a level of depth that I feel is a little lacking here. The other thing is that I wouldn't mind a story mode, like a quest tree that allows me to kind of like experience like a story or to experience, the lore of this game. Because while there are little tidbits of information, like let's jump inside of the Scribe's Lost Arts research area. If I go down here to Brand's Seal and click on that, it does give me a little blurb about the story behind this item. So this seal is the ancient pact between man and dwarf. And as my scribes go through the ancient records, they can eventually discover this. And then I can start to hire and command dwarves in my army that I didn't just have join me when I attacked people. I kind of am looking for more of that, and I'm not really getting those two things very much. But I think it's still a good game. If you're into freemium games, this one will definitely keep you busy. There are people to play with, alliances to forge and to break, and people to PO. And eventually, if I change the map scale, eventually we'll be able to go up way up north. Look at all this crazy stuff. and you'll eventually be able to attack all of these different sort of demonic forces that threaten the kingdoms and the lands of Stormfall. And, you know, Oberon, he's keen on not happening. But yeah, I think this is pretty good. It's strong, it's got good art, there's some nice sounds, there's even some voice acting for this lovely lady that Oberon has sent to kind of guide us along our trip. And if you're into freemium games, this is pretty good. The prices seem about standard for most freemium games. 750 gems will run you about $5. 1,500, $10, and it goes all the way up to $100, like most premium games do. And while it is a little pay to win, if you want to really bust through and gain a high level, you're pretty much gonna have to deal with the same people in the same level as you. And no matter how much of this stuff you buy, it's really easy to just go out and to win extra dragons, extra ogres, extra golems and stuff, and give the premium users a run for their money. So I think it's an okay sort of balance. But with free games, the money's got to come somewhere, and you either pay with your monies and getting asked to purchase gems and stuff, or you pay with an excessive amount of ads. Personally, I prefer a game where I pay once for it, but as far as freemium games go, this is good. I enjoyed checking this out for this review, and I think this is perfectly worth your time. So if you're interested in this game, it is available, once again, for both Android and iOS. You can grab the links in the description, and you can check out their developer, Plarium. They've been around for a while, making different kinds of games. And I'll catch you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great day. Goodbye.